Hey there, Austin Launch members. This is Sarah Griesmer coming to you from Launch Wellness, and I am talking today about our week 3 task for starting up your private practice. So we've been doing a Back to Basics series. It is 8 weeks long. We spent the first 2 weeks talking about picking a name and coming up with a name that you like. And we are now moving on to our week 3 task, which is registering your name. We also have a couple other tasks we're going to go over, but let's talk about this one first. My caveat today is that I am not a lawyer and I am not an accountant. And those are two people that you can seek out to get advice from when it comes to what to do with this marvelous name that you've come up with. So there are lots of options, and everyone will have a different opinion about which is best, which is safest from liability, which is best for taxes. I do not personally have an opinion to share with you, but I am going to give you some different options. So let's start with the easiest option. We'll go that way. The easiest option is to file a DBA, which is a doing business as. This is a form that formally tells the government that the name you've picked for your company is just another name for you. So it's basically telling the government that this is an alias that is representing you. Taxes are done exactly the way as they were before. You can put the money in a similar account or a different account, however you want to set it up. Doing business as form and filing is not very expensive. Last time I checked, it's under $100, so it's also an inexpensive way to start your private practice. If you just want to get the ball rolling, don't really want to think about details, this is a fine option in my opinion, and you can get more complicated as you go. Oh shoot, I guess I just gave you an opinion. Darn it! Alright, well, full disclosure, like I said, I am no one and know nothing, so don't sue me. The next step for everyone that you're going to do is get an NPI and an EIN. These are fun little initials that basically are numbers that will tell different people who you are. So an EIN is an employer identification number. Even if you're not going to be an employer, you do need this. It will take the place of your social security number when you're filing for taxes and giving receipts to clients. So this way, no one gets access to your social security number. It's a simple form, and if you click on this link, you can fill it out. You can do it online and have it done in a couple days. An NPI is a number specifically that will represent you to insurance companies. It is a beneficial number to get even if you are not going to file insurance because, believe it or not, you will still be dealing with insurance companies. There's no avoiding it. So this is the number that will represent your business to them. There's a link here for that too, the National Provider Identifier, and you can click that to get your number. It's also very simple to fill out and complete, and you can get it in a couple days. If a DBA is not the way that you want to go, or you want to think about other options, there are more complex options to consider. A PLLC is one option. So the P in front of the LLC signifies that the person or people working for the LLC require a license in order to perform the services that they are offering. An S Corp is another option for incorporating your company, your name, your business, and again, these are things that you can discuss with your accountant and a lawyer. If you do go the way of a PLLC or an S Corp, you will need to get a lawyer involved to draft up your papers. I have found that for a PLLC, the price range is usually between $800 to $1,200, which includes the filing fee. The filing fee is about $300 with the state. And even though it looks like you can fill it out on your own online, it is more complex than just the form that you will submit. There are agreements that you need to create and a schedule of meetings you need to set up, even if you're a sole proprietor. So it is worth getting a lawyer involved when you get to this more complex level. So take a little time, think about what you want to do, talk with some lawyers and accountants before you take that next step. A lot of them will do a free consultation for you, so it's worth chatting with them a little bit. You can also reach out to us on Facebook if you'd like some names of lawyers in town that we have heard good things about, and we're happy to pass along those contacts to you. That's what we're here for. Our next step for this week is much more straightforward, and I added this one even though registering your name is a little complicated, just to give you something that you can do and feel like you've accomplished, because registering your name might take a little thought and time. When we are talking about setting up a phone number, you have a couple different ways to do that, and it basically boils down to HIPAA compliant or not HIPAA compliant. There are some that say that your phone system does not need to be HIPAA compliant. I am not a HIPAA expert, and I'm not going to weigh in on this one, unfortunately, people. But you can decide kind of how risky and how conservative you want to be in this respect. Google Voice is free. Most therapists in town use it. It is not explicitly HIPAA compliant. Ring Central is another one. It does cost a small amount, as does Grasshopper. Grasshopper is HIPAA compliant, and Ring Central is not at this time. So those are some different options. I personally use Google Voice and Ring Central. I have found them both to work really well for me. I use Ring Central because I have a number of contractors that work for me, and it has lots of different options for phone lines. I use Google Voice for my personal work line because it just routes calls to my cell phone. It allows me to recognize a phone call as a business call, so I can decide whether or not to answer it in my free time. All right, we are almost done with our tasks for this week. The next one I want you to be thinking about, and this is not a doing task, this is a thinking task, is think about and ideally decide how you want to set up your website. So we're not talking about making it, we're not talking about doing it yet. I just want you to start to think about this one, and we'll move on to getting more detail about your website later. But for now, I want you to think about what's going to work best for you. Are you the person who wants to just go all in and get it all perfect? I would recommend hiring a designer if that is your plan, going ahead and sinking the money in now to do that. That would be our more expensive option. The simplest option, if the idea of doing a website terrifies you, is to pay a small amount for Psychology Today. That includes a phone number where they route the calls to your cell phone, and an easy profile that will pop up when people search for your name. So those are kind of the two extremes, and then in the middle would be a do-it-yourself website, and we'll be talking more about this option if you are interested in this option. This is also one I'm happy to talk about on Facebook if you want some ideas about what the different services are, how they differ, benefits, pros, cons, all that kind of stuff. And we will move on from there. So your task for the week, to recap, think about where you want to host your website, what you want to do with it. Think about setting up a phone number and how you want to set up your company. Do you want to do a doing business as, or do you want to formally create an entity under your new name? All right, guys, if you have questions about any of these, feel free to reach out to us. That is what we are here for, and we will talk with you soon. Have a great week.